Hi Paw Prince, back this time for the Divine Masculine reading. I do read for the collective, so that means some bits may resonate, all of it may resonate, or none of it may resonate. And if none of it resonates, that just means his reading's not for you at this time. I also read with intuition, so I read what I pick up and feel within the pictures of the cards. For anyone watching and wondering, I'm using the Starman Tarot. For anyone watching that likes the way I read and the way I get my messages across, if you could like and subscribe, that'd be much appreciated. And for anyone wondering if you'd ever like to send me any new cards to keep my readings new and fresh, I'll have a wish list linked below in the description. With that said, let's find out what's going on with the Divine Masculine. So, right now, the DMs feel like their world is very on a standstill, very frozen in time. Like they're not moving forward, but they're not like taking any steps backwards. They're very stuck on a very monotone, very just one level. They're not really going anywhere. They're not really doing anything with their life. There are DMs that are drinking. I'm seeing that there's quite a bit of drinking going on with friends, and kind of not really having any like emotional thoughts of what the implications of their actions could be. They're just like, fuck it, get drunk, don't care. And they're also surrounding themselves with people that they can kind of control, because they're not going anywhere in life themselves. They need someone to surround them that they can kind of control, to make that person go the way that they want them to, so that way they feel like at least someone's moving forward, even if it's in their direction. This is more for like they're very power hungry by doing this. There's a very strategic power move that they're doing by controlling people. It's because then that way they've got the power in their hands and the favours in their hands. But there is the Divine watching over, and he's not happy because, like I spoke about before, that the DMs are going to have a big awakening, that something's going to happen to kind of rebalance things as it is. The Divine is looking down and they are not happy with how the DM is reacting. So they are now trying to put things in place to kind of put them into line sooner than they were hoping for. The DM has lost their way a lot. They have opened something up within themselves that they shouldn't have, and now it's causing a domino effect with their journey, that because there's a situation in the past that they've done that I spoke about in a previous reading, that's kind of domino effect now their journey, and now the Divine has to kind of step in, and they have to kind of first of all block this opening up for them to then realign what's happened. It's like the Divine has to go back and somehow correct where it went wrong now, if that makes sense. They can't go back in time and change it, but they need to repair what was done in the past, repairing it now, in that sort of sense. And by doing that, it's going to re-correct the journey that they're meant to be going down. it's like there were some DMs that were like on their final kind of a final path that they were going down. It's like they had, if you like, trials, and they'd done every trial and they had their final trial, and this domino effect has kind of stopped that trial in place for them to kind of have that eureka moment that they needed. And it's very much, they're now mirroring previous situations, because this domino effect is kind of put them in an alternative universe, in the sense that they are constantly reliving over and over past situations, because what's ever happened is stopping the journey for them moving forward. The problem with this is that now they're reliving past situations without thinking of the implications, because they don't care, because because of what's happened has kind of done the domino effect. They've never had that the consequences for their actions. So now that they're reliving it over and over again and didn't have consequences in the first place, they're not feeling like they're getting consequences now. So it's just fueling them and causing more shit that needs to be fixed. And it's kind of the DM are pulling more away from their emotions and thinking more with their head. So they're thinking that whatever looks good, they're going to go towards instead of what feels good. And it's kind of now stopped them moving forward, and they are now tied down, and they're not going to go anywhere. They're not going to go down the journey that they need to go down. So let's get some guidance and advice. The reason I'm not doing triggers for DMs is because of this whole domino effect that I spoke about before. They're not going to be the proper triggers that are going on. It's because of what's fucked up. It's not going to be the correct trigger that, even though I might be picking up on a trigger, it's not going to be the actual trigger that's going on, because there's kind of a fuck up here. So we're going to get a kind of just the guidance and advice for the DMs now moving forward that are watching this, of how you need to move forward with this. All I can say is you need to leave the divine to kind of sort this out, because this is the divine's mess that they need to sort out. Okay. So, for the DMs that are with the DS, for the DS that are with the DMs, you need to keep being that support and light bearer that you need to be, and kind of guide the way for them. Help them. The ones that are in contact and on a good wavelength with them, you need to kind of help them get back on the path that they need to be on. For the ones that do have that good relationship, as well as letting the divine fix it. So don't force anything, kind of give them guidance. But for the ones that aren't in contact or got little to none contact, you need to cut that contact away, because the divine are now stepping in the way, where the DM are usually the light bearers to guide the way. The divine are kind of stepping in to kind of repair it, so they don't need the DM to be guided any further, because they now need to fix the path that it's led down. They need to kind of take the DM, move them back to where the path went rocky, and then they follow the light. Because while they're down this rocky path, they're going the wrong way, if that makes sense. For some of you, it's going to feel like a pull, like there's a pull on the connection, like it's either very little or to no connection, like you don't feel them. It's going to feel like they're very distanced and very not really there. You're not going to feel them for some of you, and for others, I'm feeling like it's literally like your emotions are going to be all over the place when it comes to them. You're either going to hate them, you're going to You're not going to have a lot of self-love for yourself. You're not going to have the conditional love for them. It's going to be very... It's kind of affecting everyone right now. And that's why the Divine's having to step in, because I spoke with before, the Divines were trying something new by giving them a complete opposite to what they had. It's fucked up the whole process. And if you go, it's either last month's karmic reading or the Divine Masculine reading that I did last month. There was an in-depth thing about how it's fucked up the whole journey for the DM and why they're having to fix it. So that's what I'm getting for the DM, that the Divine needs to now really stepping in, because they're not liking what's going on. They are stepping in, and this is probably... I feel like this is, for the DMs watching, this is very why you're feeling the way you do, in the sense of what's going on with the DM for why you're feeling that kind of way. So thanks for watching.